Well, hi everybody, professor, classmates. Well, throughout this presentation, my partners Veronica, Olga, Sarai, and I will address some of the types of mixed method research. But before we get started, we need to address the concept of mixed method research from an overall perspective, right? So, for example, Tashakurin Creswell claimed that this is research in which the investigator collects and analyzes data and integrates the findings and draw inferences using both qualitative and quantitative approaches in a single study. So this is not just a way of combining both approaches, but the central goal or the main objective of this is to use the quantitative and qualitative approaches in combination or mixing to provide a better understanding of research problems rather than either one approach itself. So just to sum up, it's not only using both qualitative and quantitative approach, but high quality mixed method research combine them throughout an entire study, from the research questions to data collection and data analysis. Well, now it's time to delve into the concurrent design, which is a design that uses both qualitative and quantitative methods simultaneously at the same time. And well, just to mention an example of this, when a questionnaire includes both closed and open-ended questions, so that would be an accurate example of that. And well, it's stated that the main benefit of this is that it allows the researcher to first explore data in a qualitative way and then conduct a more targeted quantitative analysis on the topic or specific aspect of it. And well, the main goal of this is to basically to compare both results to gain a deeper understanding of the issue and to confirm one set of findings using the other, whether quantitative using qualitative or vice versa. And well, now it's time to move on to the concept of triangulation or convergent design, as Creswell named it. Well, this occurs when two different methods are used to gather and analyze data on the same research question. It is called, well, this is called triangulation. It's a type of mixed method approach where the researcher gathers and analyzes two sets of data, two distinct sets of data, one quantitative and one qualitative, of course, and then integrates them to compare and or combine the findings of the study. Well, this means verifying the findings from one set of data by comparing them with findings from another set. Well, now my partner Olga will be delving into the definition of concurrent embedded design, as well as a brief introduction to sequential designs.
The concurrent embedding design is way to do research with two methods, qualitative and quantitative. One method is the main method and the other is secondary. The secondary method helps give more information to the main methods. This is different from concurrent triangulation, where both methods are equal. Uh, Characteristic: we collect both qualitative and quantitative data at the same time. One method is the most important. The other has adds extra details. And this design is often used in studies with an intervention. For example, a new treatment. Usually, the quantitative method is the main one, and the qualitative method adds more context. What are sequential designs? They are going to do research in two steps. First, you collect qualitative data, for example, interviews or writing answers. Then, you collect qualitative data, for example, numbers or surveys. One step follows the other. This helps you understand and check your first result before moving to the next step. Why use a sequential designs? When one type of data is not enough to answer the original question, when you want to study something in details before testing and with more people. When you get surprising results in a quantitative study, and need more information to understand them.
Today, I will talk about the sequential explanatory design and mixed method research strategy that follow two distinct phases. First, quantitative data is collected and analyzed. Then, qualitative data is gathered to help explain or provide deeper insight into the initial findings. In phase 1, collecting qualitative data. This phase involves gathering numerical data through structured methods such as surveys, standardized tests, or statistical database. The goal is to identify patterns, trends, or relationships between variables using statistical analysis. In phase 2, qualitative follow up. Once the quantitative data has been analyzed, qualitative data is collected to explore the reason behind the numerical results. Methods such as interview, focus group, or observation are used to gain deeper insight into participant perspective and experience. And interpretation. In the final step, both sets of data are integrated to develop a more comprehensive understanding of the research problem. The qualitative finding help interpret the quantitative result, offering a clearer explanation of the phenomenon being studied. In summary, this design follows the sequence quantitative quality interpretation, making it a valuable approach in research fields that see both measurable outcomes and deeper contextual understanding. Thank you.
So now I'm going to explain the sequential exploratory design. This research design starts with qualitative data collection and analysis first. After that, quantitative data is collected to explore the findings further. And finally, both sets of data are combined to draw conclusions. For example, a researcher interviews teachers to understand their challenges in online education. The teachers are qualitative. And then they design a survey, quantitative, to measure how common these challenges are among a larger group of teachers. In the qualitative phase, this is the first step in a sequential exploratory design because it involves collecting non numerical data like interviews or open ended surveys or observations. In this phase, the goal is to explore a topic and identify key themes or patterns. And for example, we took a researcher conducts interviews with the students to understand how they feel about, for example, online learning. And now the quantitative phase. In this step, we took numerical data that is collected. It helps confirm or expand on the findings from the qualitative phase. And the methods in this phase include surveys or experiments or statistical analysis. Example, after analyzing student interviews, the researcher creates a questionnaire to measure how many students experience the same challenges. And the generalization. This means applying the study's findings to a larger population beyond the sample. With the quantitative data, which is often used for generalization because numbers and statistics help show patterns that may apply broadly. And with the qualitative data alone, it's harder to generalize because it's often based on a smaller, more specific group. For example, for this phase, if 80% of surveyed students report struggling with motivation in online learning, well, the researcher might generalize that most of the students face this issue, not just those in the study, because 80% of the students is a lot of them. So we have to generalize. And now the sequential embedded design. Well, this design is a type of research design where qualitative data is collected before or after the main study, which is usually quantitative. We can think of it like researchers first gather qualitative data, like interviews or observations, before starting the main study or after it's finished. Then they conduct a main quantitative study like surveys or experiments, and finally they combine the results from both to get a deeper understanding of the research topic. Now, the key idea is that the qualitative data is embedded in, into the study, but happens at a separate stage rather than at the same time as the quantitative data. Well, thank you.